What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Better Call Saul episode recap. This was episode 10, Nippy. Nippy was the main character of this episode.
Yeah.
I just want to start out by saying, like, fuck do I want Cinnabon. Like, like real bad.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of the theme of this episode. The great Cinnabon heist, if you
A
will.
lot of cinema, yeah.
Yep.
Flipping
Jimmy up
Jimmy.
to his old antics.
Back to his old ways.
Mhm.
He's just addicted to scheming, dude. He can't help himself.
It wasn't like this when I came here before.
So in this episode here, episode 10, Gene Takovic, we see the first full episode of present day. Jimmy and his new identity, Gene, the Cinnabon manager. He's up to some shenanigans in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
We're introduced to a little old lady in the beginning of the episode. And as she's scooting home on her scooter from grocery shopping, there is Jimmy, a.k.a. Saul, a.k.a. Gene. We're going to have to starting to lose track of this dude's nicknames.
Gene.
Yeah, Gene. You get the feeling like he's up to something, and he's stapling missing dog posters. And he says to this old lady, my dog Nippy jumped out the fucking car window while I was driving. And she's kind of stuck on a little speed bump. Seems like he created.
Right.
And he asks her,
did.
he asks to help her out. She agrees, and while he's pushing her, he snips her scooter motor. And she invites him into her house, and they're sipping some drinks, and her son comes home, and we find out her son is the gentleman from the finale of the previous season. The one who recognized him in the mall and says, "Hey, I know you. You're Saul.
Mm-hmm.
I liked your ads." And
Tries to extort him right there
mhm.
in that episode.
And here we realize what Gene is up to. He's trying to tie up some potential dangerous loose ends. He can't be letting people know who he is.
Hell no.
Nope.
And he says to this guy, "Hey, listen, I know your type. You want in on the life. I could provide that for you so long as you keep your mouth shut." And the remainder of the episode is basically, I'm just going to call him Jimmy because that's his real name. Jimmy putting together a scheme to rob one of the clothing stores, a high-end clothing store in the mall that he works at. And he's pacing, measuring paces. He's figuring out where the cameras are. And throughout the course of the episode, he's befriending the security guards, the night shift security guards, by bringing them Cinnabon every night. And it's quite the scheme, actually. I was impressed.
Quite the scheme.
Like-
I mean, at first you think Jimmy's getting some new minions with Jeffy and the other nameless guy that
Yeah.
I don't know his fucking name. But damn, all that just to ensure that they don't fuck with him and ruin his new life.
Yep. And while they're while Jimmy's befriending this guy, he's bringing him Cinnabon every night. Well, basically, it's to keep the security guards back to the wall of security cameras in the mall while he's eating the Cinnabon. And Jimmy's timing each time he eats it takes him about 3 minutes. So the plan is, his little lackey has to get into this store, steal 3 pieces of each piece of high-end clothing or bags, I think, shoes, stuff like that. And he has 3 minutes to do so. And that's basically the culmination of the plot here. But this episode was cool. Aside from this, it was actually a funny episode. I think the stuff between him and the security guard was pretty hilarious.
Yep.
because the security guard is sort of like a humdrum, like average guy, and he's like, "Hey,
Right.
how about that sports game last night?"
Yeah.
And talk about college
Jimmy's
football.
faking it at first, and then he's
Big
like,
Cornhusker fan, yeah. So
Yeah.
he has
Jimmy
to get a
has
little
to,
better at it.
he's got to learn a lot about college football so he can
Right.
talk shop with the guy.
This was a fun episode, but it turns out Jimmy's plan, he didn't really give a shit about the robbery. He was just doing it to sort of satiate these two guys that clearly were going to try to like extort him. So the one
Also like entrapping them.
yes, basically he threw a lot of law at them. He's like, "Hey, listen, you used a truck to move stolen goods above $5,000 in value. The truck was rented over state lines." He's like, "There's
Yeah.
all sorts of felonies."
It's
So
like
if,
30 years worth of fucking crimes, dude.
yeah. So if you decide to rat me out, you're going down with me.
Yep.
And they were kind of surprised. They thought this was going to be a continuous thing. And Jimmy says to them, you know, he cuts that shit off real quick. He's like, "This is it. It's over. This is the only time. So enjoy it now, boys." But two things that I noticed, and I want to know what you guys think.
Mm-hmm.
A, it seemed really evident to me that, again, we just said Jimmy wasn't doing this for his own gain. It was just to like kind of keep his back clean and like get these guys off his back. But
Yeah.
you could tell that he was enjoying it and he was missing the life.
He definitely was. Like
Yeah.
at the end, or towards the end, after he goes back to the department store, he's like, "I still got it,"
Mm-hmm.
but only for a brief moment before he walks off back
Yeah.
to take his lunch.
Yep. But you
Yeah,
know
he was definitely backed into a corner, and he had to do what he had to do, but he seriously enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
knows like there's no going back.
Well, does he though? I don't know.
I think he knows there's no going back, dude.
But in this episode, he's still like, I mean, I don't know. We don't really know how many years this is past the end of Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
The only
don't.
the only measurement of time we have is that he's like significantly balder as Gene. So I would imagine it's a few years at least, but he's still listening to police scanners. He's making sure that like
Constantly.
yeah. So he's still watching his back. But yeah, again, great episode. It was funny, fully black and white. So
Yeah, that was great.
Crazy. I got
Whole-
used to it pretty quickly.
yeah, whole episode was present day, and with 2 episodes left, you know, I'm starting to wonder like what we're actually gonna see, and it's become a little bit of a tradition as we do these recaps that we do a little prediction based on what we just watched. So let's get into that a little bit.
I think this confirmed. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
go
you
first.
go first. You go first.
Well, I was gonna say this episode fully in the present, I think confirms. I don't know which of you it was that said that, or it might have been me actually. That they're gonna go back and forth between the 3 eras of like pre like the Saul Goodman pre Breaking Bad, and then like when he meets Walt, and then back to the Gene era. I think they're gonna maybe do a little bit of skipping between them for the last couple of episodes.
Dusty.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, some people might consider what we just watched as a filler episode because
Kind of was.
I mean, but we really won't know until we see what they do in the next couple
Right.
episodes, because it could be him. You know, uh, he's covering his bases to make sure that nobody can rat on him, but he could also be like gearing up to make another move. So who knows? I don't know. I
Right.
can't even predict anything at this point.
I don't
Yeah,
think
it
this was
weird.
a filler episode. What'd you
I
want to
don't
say,
either.
Marvin?
I was just gonna say it was weird because it was just Gene. There was like no hint of Kim,
Well,
no
I-
hint of anything else.
I don't think this was a filler episode. I think this was preparing us for, like, well, not preparing us. We've never really gotten to know him as Gene so far throughout this whole series. We've only seen
Yeah.
little snippets of what he's doing, but it's not enough to, like, put you into his perspective or frame of mind. And clearly his frame of mind based on this episode is like, I need to stay safe, obviously, but goddamn, like, I miss my old life.
Showing us a day in the life of Gene, because we really haven't seen that, and
Right.
then showing us like
Yeah.
he's still doing what needs to be done.
It would be really cool to me if we saw like an episode of Breaking Bad, but through Saul's perspective.
Like same time period.
Well, no, same
whatever.
exact like episode, because we never really got that. It was always like Walt and Jesse go visit Saul. They have their little scene,
Right.
and then the rest of the episode continues, but from the perspective of the main characters, Walt and Jesse.
Right.
It would be
Yeah.
cool if they spun that around and like recreate an episode or something, but Walt and Jesse leave the office and like now we're following like what Saul's doing in the background.
Yeah. Because I'm sure
Um,
Saul was doing some crazy shit at the time too, because he was working with so many different,
Yeah.
not
sure.
just Walt and Jesse.
But I mean, we'll see what happens. I do think we're obviously going to get a time, like a jump back in time to Saul. And then I think the final episode, like we've talked about numerous times at this point, will conclude with Gene and the future of his character and how that might all play out
Yeah.
and finalize.
I think it was funny how when they were initially robbing the department store, we was like, oh, he's getting suits for himself. This is great. He's gonna go back to his old ways. And
Yeah.
turns out it was nothing like that.
Yeah. The gentleman that was actually robbing the store, we're watching it play out on the security monitors behind the security guard stuffing his face with Cinnabon. A little bit earlier in the episode, the department store manager notices like scuff marks, and she asks one of her employees, hey, can you get maintenance down here to buff this out and polish it up? And as we're watching this guy run back and forth and like steal the clothes and do the things, he actually slips on the patch of polished floor, and he's just fucking laid out for like a solid couple of minutes. So Jimmy, being the slick guy that he is, he bursts into tears and starts like pouring his heart and soul out to the security guard, saying
Look at
like,
me.
Yeah, he gives
Yeah.
a nice little monologue.
yeah, and that was a moment I think of truth, a little
Some
bit.
of it, yeah.
While he was playing it
Yeah.
up, he's saying, oh, my parents died. He got really sort of, based on his speech pattern, you could tell that he got a little emotional when he was talking about his brother. Fuck, what's his brother's name again? Chuck, yeah. I almost said Howard.
Those were all truths, right? Like,
Yeah.
I
He
have
was
no wife.
Yep.
My brother died.
Uh-huh.
My parents died. If I die right now, nobody would know, right? Like those are all true things.
Yeah. So we definitely had a little bit of truth come out in that moment, which was cool. Again, cool to get a look into the life of Gene, and see a little bit of scheming that hasn't left him.
Getting to the end. I don't know, man. I don't
No,
know.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
I just don't know what to expect now.
Yeah.
Like,
Sorry
maybe
about
kind
the
of know,
internet.
but like, I don't know.
I'm getting upset though. I'm sad that this is coming
So
to an
it's
end.
Coming to an end.
But all great
Isn't there going to be a
things-
spinoff or something?
Well, we don't know yet.
Mm-mm-mm.
But all good things must come to an end, including this recap. So we love the episode. If you guys watch the episode, let us know what you think down in the comments below. Let us know your predictions. If you haven't already, follow us on Twitter. We can be reached there. And our new website, harshlanguage.tv. Go check it out. See you next time, folks.
See ya.
How's it?